All right, good afternoon, Blaise. How are you doing today, buddy?
Good afternoon. I'm awesome.
All right, welcome everyone to Bourbon Bikes and Business. If you haven't joined us before, this is where two schlubs talk everything about bourbon, bikes, and business, just like the title would indicate. And we have a special show today, coming off another special show. So, 2 shows ago, we actually had my wife on. That seemed to be a big hit. Everyone loved to see me getting abused on camera, so that was great. And then last week's episode, we talked about some great places to shop online. So this is going to be the third hitter in the series. Today, we are going to start a 2-parter, okay? Today, we are going to talk about something that we have referenced time and time again on this show, but have not gotten into the weeds on yet, and that is mine and Blaise's trip to the Smoky Mountains where we almost died. So you do not want to turn away from this one. It is an entertaining story, no doubt. And like I said, we'll be doing it in 2 parts. Today is episode number 1. We'll be talking about our first half of the trip. That seemed to be going very well, all things considered, and we'll get into that. But before we do,
Hank, one other thing while we're on topics of what's coming up. To build on this, we're going to talk about our trip and why we're going to work on the Pans route. But I just found out this week we have 2 of the gentlemen from the Pans route. They're going to join us on a future show here, Jake Haynes and Andy Wolf. So we're actually going to get some firsthand feedback on the Pants route, which will be really cool.
I'm so excited to talk to those guys and hear what it was actually like. And I don't know, maybe we'll invite them to join our ride too.
Yeah, cool.
We'll see. Maybe they'll do that for us.
So what do you got on the table today?
All right. So first of all, before I get into what I'm actually drinking, I mentioned on a previous show that I started my Poor Pappy's project.
All
So
right.
I'm making Poor Pappy's. This is 2 parts Weller 12 to 3 parts Weller Antique 107. So the Weller 12 is, I think, like 94 proof, and the Weller Antique is 107 proof. So you use the Antique to pull up the proof a little bit. And this is, so depending on the reviews that you see online, some people will say that this tastes better than the Pappy 15.
Wow.
Most say that it's better than the Pappy 10 and 12. The problem with 12, which is known as Lot B, is it's very subdued. It's a very low proof. I think it's like a 90 proof. And so while it's a real easy drinker, it doesn't really add too much of a punch or a lot of make it very exciting.
Right.
And so a lot of people tend to go up to the 15, which adds a little more punch, but that's very expensive. So here we go. We have a couple more weeks for this thing to fully meld together, I guess you could say, mature. And I have all my dates here, so I'm tracking it carefully. I have a Poor Pappy's label on the way as we speak, which will go right here, and it will go right up in my collection. So maybe one of our shows in a few weeks in the future will pop this thing.
That'll be
Every
cool.
day,
That'll be
Every
cool.
day I'm turning it upside down for a few hours and then right back upside. So I'm trying everything. So
Is that like a 30-day mature? What's the timeline on it?
They say 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Okay.
So I think today is actually the first week, completing the first week and starting the second. So we'll see.
Exciting.
Well, actually, by the time this show airs, I will be completing the second. What I am drinking today, this is some hot stuff, man. This is Penelope Barrel Strength, which is, it says 115.8 proof, but it drinks like 130 proof. It is very hot.
Is that related to Penelope Cruz?
I do not think so. But it is related to all the other Penelopes in the series.
Gotcha.
And there are many of them. Did you ever have any of the Penelopes?
No, I don't think I have.
They're not bad. They're not bad. This one in particular, I'm not sure why I went with the barrel strength. I mean, I do like hot things, but very hot. What are you drinking?
I've got some. I haven't had this much at all. I think I had this once before. I've got the basic makers.
Yeah.
I had them. Is it a 46 makers?
Oh, the 46 is magical. Yeah.
I like the 46. That's the only other makers I had. This isn't quite as robust as the 46, but the 46 is really good.
The 46. So that's actually, I've been drinking that at night lately. I have the cast strength version. I don't have the regular version, which puts a little bit more punch to it. And it's just creme brulee and chocolate fudge. Like it is.
I
Like
remember it being like cherry and chocolatey, like kind of thing.
yeah,
It's really smooth
and it's
too. It's
very
pretty
light,
smooth.
very
Yeah.
rich, absolutely delicious. I love Maker's Mark's products, but the 46 is outstanding.
Yeah, for a smooth everyday drink, just a regular Makers, and it's reasonably
Yeah,
priced. It's not a
yeah,
real
for sure.
expensive
And
one.
you don't feel badly about mixing it or
Hmm.
whatever else. So, in fact, I started out in my bourbon drinking career as a Jack and Coke guy, and now I've gone to Makers and Coke. I prefer it.
Wow. I've never
So
been a big Jack guy kind of thing. Although
well,
I did go
that's
to
where I
Jack.
started.
I went to Jack Daniels with Connor, my son, because he went to school like half hour from there. So we went down. It's funny. This is after he graduated from MTSU in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I said, "Hey, where can we go? Where have you never gone? Since you've been in Tennessee for 4 years." He goes, "Never been to the distilleries." I'm like, cool. So we went down. We went to before we went to Jack. We went to there was one right down the street. It'll come to me. Anyway, it was like 50 employees down in the holler, and then 15 minutes down the road, you get to Jack Daniels, and there's like 500 employees or 5,000. Huge difference.
Yeah.
But enjoyed it.
Mhm. That's cool. So let's get into it, Blaze. Here's I think what our approach is going to be, and this is going to be a little something different than we've offered our viewers before because I had a GoPro set up during this well, during the first half of the trip before it went sideways. So we have a lot of video actually to share with our YouTube viewers as well. So you can actually relive the experience with us for better or worse.
And me too, because I haven't seen all this footage
Yeah,
yet
you haven't
myself.
seen much of it either, right? So, so here's how we're gonna do it. So, I'm gonna start recounting kind of parts of the trip, and
Hmm.
then I want you to add in kind of your thoughts and memories from that part of the trip because we'll probably have different memories,
I'm
and
sure.
and then we'll play the video clip of how it actually went down, and we'll march through the first half of the day. Okay.
Sounds good. Let's
All
roll.
right. So this thing, the ride was called the Three Things. And I took my son down to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama. Then Blaise met me in Nashville, and we had a fun night in Nashville. And then we made
It
our
was your
way over
first
to,
time in Nashville too, right?
oh, it was crazy. Um, so anyway, if you recognize me from
That's
the bar
another story.
on the video, don't say anything. So then, so then we made our way over to Knoxville, which is where the University of Tennessee is. We had an
It's cool.
incredible dinner the night before the ride, and we stayed. That was our kind of launching point. We stayed in a hotel overnight because it was much closer to where the Three Things started, which was kind of through Pisgah National Park, parts of Pisgah, in and out of Tennessee and North Carolina as we went. So,
I just remember Knoxville, the place we had dinner. It was
oh,
bourbon and beer, and bourbon and burgers, and the whole
yeah, something
wall.
like
It was like a stone brick wall, and the other half of the wall, the restaurant was lined with bourbon. Like
oh,
it was like
and the burgers
bourbon
were so
heaven,
delicious.
and the burgers were great too.
Oh my gosh, the burgers just you can barely fit it in your mouth, and the
Really
drink.
good.
Knoxville was a beautiful city. I really enjoyed Knoxville.
Yeah.
So the plan was this: the Three Things ride was approximately an 82-mile loop. Okay, going in and out of Tennessee and North Carolina and Pisgah National Park.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And the Smokies,
our,
Smokies and
in
Pisgah,
the
I
Smoky
guess. Yeah.
Mountains because we really wanted to ride the Smoky Mountains while we were out
Yeah.
there. So it was an 82-mile ride. Our plan was the first day we would complete about 42 or 45 miles and camp out on top of this mountain. I forget what the campground was called, something like Big Creek Campground or something along those lines. And we were going to camp out that night, 10 out. It was a bike packing trip,
Right.
and we had our tents and everything. And then the second part of the trip, we were going to ride the second 42 whatever miles and finish the loop and come back to our cars.
I
Okay?
got a question, Hank. Am I reminiscing this? We met in Nashville, right? So I
Yep.
stopped in Arlington, Virginia, and did the trying to think of the name of the trail again.
Creeper.
The Creeper Trail, which I loved. And then we met in Nashville. Didn't we do a bike ride in Nashville together too?
Yep. Yeah, we rode through downtown Nashville, and we also rode through
The
there's a
park
nice we had a
along the
nice trail
river
through the park and into the city and
with
stuff
the
like that.
deer, and then I almost killed myself on one of the pilings by the
Yeah,
football
you hit right
stadium
into
there.
a
Right?
pylon. I also had shifting trouble and had to,
That's
in
right.
fact, um, because these guys were so nice to me and helped me out on a moment's notice. This is my cup that I got from the bike store where they fix my bike, and it was called the Green Fleet Bicycle Shop. So if you're ever in Nashville, go to Green Fleet Bicycle Shop. Those guys, I had shifting problems right before we were supposed to go to the Smokies, and they took me in an emergency basis and fixed me up.
I
So
just broke my mug 2 days ago. Dropped it out of the cabinet and broke the
no,
handles off. I was so bummed. I was
ah,
like, shoot, Hank gave me
yeah,
that. Now I got to go back to Nashville and get another one.
yeah, exactly. Actually, I went back this year with our son's hockey trip, but much different trip
Cool.
than you and I had.
So sorry,
So
didn't
in
mean to
any
get
event,
off track, but yeah,
yeah,
we had fun in Nashville riding too.
yeah. So in any event, so the plan was leave Knoxville first thing in the morning. We got up
Right.
about 5 o'clock and drive to the Kachiki. I forget exactly what it was, how you pronounce it, but the Kachiki parking lot,
But
and
the
that's
the
where the
road to
trail was going to
Kachiki
start.
Cheek, remember the road to get there?
Oh my God, this it was single lane,
Man.
windy. I at certain parts. Now you drive a sedan. I
Tough.
I have like a crossover. I felt okay, but I didn't know how you were getting through certain parts of it. I mean, it was backcountry. And the other thing too, I think we mentioned this before, is I thought when we were going to go through the Smokies that there'd be like Smokey the Bear mascots waving everywhere, and it would
And
be like very
and people
commercial and
everywhere,
friendly.
visitors and everything,
Yeah,
like
and people with balloons and like Disney
like
World. Like
Dollyland or whatever.
this place is warm. Like it is backcountry, no one around, especially on the Tuesday morning whenever we started. It was desolate,
And if I
and
recall, they were looking for a murderer that escaped from some
they were.
prison or something, and he was supposedly in the vicinity of where
He was right there, yeah. Except we didn't know that at the time. To be fair,
oh,
we
we
didn't
did it?
know it
Okay.
until we got back. I don't think so. And the Appalachian Trail cuts right through there too, which
Right.
we came upon on our trip. So in any event, um, so
We
we
got
drive
there.
up this long and windy road. We find the parking lot finally, and there's online. I'll try to find the link and put it on this post to the Three Things ride. So we were able to download the GPS and put it in our Garmin computers and everything
Thank
else.
God.
Easy peasy.
Right.
Yeah, right? So we pack everything on our bikes. Our bikes weigh about 100 pounds. All the camping gear in the world. I've never bike packed in my life, so I have no idea other than what you told me to bring.
And if I recall, I don't even think I looked at the route because I'm the kind of person I don't want to know what I'm getting into. I just go. So I'm like,
You
I
had no
left it
idea.
up to Mr. Hank to
Right,
do the route. I'm like, okay, I'm just rolling with it.
right. We
Wrong.
had it both computers. The route was perfect. We had online evidence of like a whole story of how these guys went through it, much like the pants route.
Piece of
And
cake.
so we
Yeah.
we start following the route. Beep beep beep. Off
Of
course.
course. Of
Very
course.
first thing. Of course. So of course, Blaise and I, because we're like a married couple, we were going back and forth, arguing back
Oh,
and forth with
yes.
each other, which way to go, where the trail actually starts. I think we ended up riding about 5 miles
The
of
wrong
just
way.
trying to
Right out of the
find
gate. Yeah.
where the course is. So here's a
Oh.
video right here of Hank and Blaise bitching at each other trying to find the course.
All right, man. We ready to head out?
Yeah, these courses, I gotta get my find the star course.
Navigate to beginning of course.
See this? I can't see.
I think we should go down this road and see if it says you're on course, because that makes a lot more sense to go that way than back the way we came. Because there's no dirt roads the way we came.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
But this says this is to the start.
Mine's not listing a course or anything here.
Well, we're on the course.
But I'm saying I don't have it on my Garmin. It's not saying I'm on a course or anything. Well, right down this, it's either gonna say you're off course or you're on course. Mine's not saying anything. I don't know whether I'm on course.
All right. I don't think we go down there though. We go up here. We don't go down there. Why are we going down there? That's not the course. We're on Cave Creek Road. Come on. Hold on. Come here for, oh, we don't have cell reception. Come on. Come this way.
So as you can see, we were having a little issue finding the course and agreeing with each other, but we finally found the course, right? And what ended up happening was, for whatever reason, when we put the course in the Garmin had the reverse order of the course.
That's what it was. That's right.
The reverse direction. I don't know
right.
why, but for whatever reason it was. But as soon as we got on the course, it kind of self-corrected and found the course, and we were off and running. And
that's where we crossed that little bridge with the beautiful creek, right?
Yes. So we, from what I remember, we glide down a little hill, and we had our first climb coming up. It was the first substantial climb of the ride.
Little climb.
And before us was a cute little bridge over a babbling brook kind of a thing, and we get off the bike and we take pictures.
I've got pictures of the bridge where we started there, so I can give you that.
We're about to show a video clip of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and we're taking pictures with the babbling brook, nice and fresh and excited for our trip, getting ready for the first climb. And here comes the park ranger in his truck.
Right.
And he stops and says good morning to us, hello, and we say good morning to him. And he says, "Where are you guys going?
Where you boys headed?"
We're about to go that way. We're on a bike ride. He looked at us like we had three heads. "You're going up there?" He said. "You're going up that way?" Yeah. We had about a 6-mile climb ahead of us and into nowhere, Liam. Nowhere. And so he kind of shook his head and said, "All right, like whatever." And he took off, and we were on our way. So here's a video of Blaise and I encountering the park ranger.
Oh, we have that video. Cool.
Yeah, roll it.
Wants us to go the other way. 200 feet to Cataloochee Creek Road to the right. Okay, it's giving us directions. No, we're going to the right. Yep. This is Cataloochee Creek Road. Be careful on the wet. I'm going to stop here and take a picture. Whoa, that is slick.
Huh?
Oh. Oh, no. I'm trying.
Did you get by with it?
I don't know. Morning. Oh, we just started. Up towards Big Creek, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is there like a Fines Creek tavern or something up there?
You have to get on the interstate.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, once I think it's from the Tennessee line into North Carolina 7 miles.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, so that was our interaction with the park ranger, and now Blaise and I began our first test of the day, which was a 6-something mile climb at averaged, I believe, at least 9%.
Yeah, 9-10%. With no switchbacks whatsoever. It was like
just
great.
You kind of, I remember like swirling around the mountain.
A little bit, yeah.
It was like a screw top.
Oh, man.
And we just and it was hot and humid, and we were just climbing and climbing. I remember you saying a couple times, "I got to stop and get my heart rate back down."
Right. I had 76. 176.
That was my first are we doing the right thing? Like, is Blaise healthy enough for this? Do you remember that climb?
I do remember that. That's when I wore a heart rate monitor. I don't anymore for that reason, so I don't know how it's going.
Do you remember what your heart rate got up to?
Yeah, 176, I think it was.
Oh my God.
That's usually my break even with stop, catch my breath.
Yeah, that's got to be, So I remember feeling okay, but I was definitely sweating, and I wasn't fighting you when you wanted to stop. Like, I was cool with it.
But now, did you tell people about your setup? Like you said, using your first backpacking trip. So Hank shows up. He's got he's in the army with the huge backpack on. And
That wasn't my initial plan, though.
It wasn't?
No. So I had everything set on the bike, but then as we got closer and closer to the rod, I kept saying, I think I need this, and I think I need that, and I think I need this. And before I knew it, I didn't have any more room on my bike. All I had was the backpack. And so I figured, well, I'll just put it on my back and go. I bet you I had 60 pounds on my bike. Flashback.
I probably had maybe 30, 35 at most.
Yeah.
Because I had done this once before.
We're climbing up this 9% grade average for 6 miles with about 30 to 50 pounds on us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we did what we did, but anyway, here's some footage of Blaise and I riding up the endless climb.
Yeah, baby. Oh, caterpillar. Jesus. Whew. This climb is absolutely brutal. We're probably in mile, 4 or 5 of 6, and it doesn't stop. It's like 6 to 9% grade, 1,400 feet of climbing. How many feet do we have left of climbing, do you see? I mean, it is insane. It just keeps going. It doesn't stop. There's another turn up the way here. This is true gravel in the backcountry. This is some awesome stuff. Really cool. Yeah, it's wet as all get out. Sounds like more rain's coming. We've been getting a sprinkle basically the whole time, and it is just feels like you're riding through a cloud. It's just constant condensation. Everything's wet. But it's awesome.
All I can remember is up. Damn, we're not at the top yet. We're not at the top yet. It was one of those hills.
Yeah. Now, now the good part about that uphill was that as long and steep as it was up, it was also long and steep as it was down after we crested.
See, I was trying to remember what happened after we got to the top of the hill. It's a blur.
Straight downhill, right into Big Creek, right to our first stop of the day, which was the Big Creek Country Store. Do you remember that place?
The Big Creek Country Store. I certainly do.
Now this was at about mile 20 already into our 40-mile day. So
I was dreaming about a cold cut sub or a cheesesteak rolling down that hill.
It was actually, I remember being really invigorated by the fact that we got there because we just had this long, steep downhill. we got there and it was about mile 20, about halfway through. And I'm thinking, damn, I have fresh legs. Like, I
Right.
feel really good. It's only, I don't know, it's probably only like
11 o'clock.
11:30 in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, we stop at the Big Creek Country Store. We get ourselves a nice sandwich and a
Right.
nice cold Coke.
We're
We
good to
get on
climb
our
again.
way,
Yep.
and we hit the second half out of the ballpark, and we're done by like 3 in the afternoon.
Right.
And we're just setting up camp and having a nice night. So that's how I felt when we got to Big Creek Country Store. I don't know, what was your recollection of that?
I like the rocking chair because I can sit down there. And then I remember reading the signs there about camping or something. But part of me was like, where is everybody? There's no people around here anywhere. It's just
Yeah.
a store. I hope somebody. It looked like they weren't even open yet. And that's
Yeah.
why I was like, oh no, they might not be
So-
open.
Yeah, so we walk in and we're expecting a decent sandwich place and get a nice sandwich. And we walk in, nicest lady in the world
Yeah.
that was working there. It was a mom and a daughter. The mom wasn't there yet, but the daughter
Right.
was there. They had all kinds of fresh baked goods that the mom would actually make. I remember the banana bread that I
Right.
got. But the provisions there is kind of like a small, very small convenience store, country store.
Couple snacks. That was about
And
it.
I mean, there were some snacks. I remember picking up the tortilla shells thinking, oh, I can get some peanut butter and jelly and some tortilla and make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. The tortilla wraps were like 3 months out of date. And because it was just I guess it was midsummer, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal was, but maybe many people don't stop there because it's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I remember we got some Cokes and we got some Gatorades and we got some snacks
Right.
to hold us over.
We did get
um,
hydrated, so that was the only good part.
We got hydrated, and we got some banana bread, which was good.
Right.
And we sat down. You sat down in the big rocking chair, and I kind of sat. But again, I thought, man, I'm feeling really fresh. We're already halfway done with the day. It's before noon. We're in good shape. And so
Right.
here's us at the Big Creek Country Store.
All right, so after a long descent, we made it to the Big Creek Country Store. We thought there were going to be sandwiches here, but there's just a lot of snacks. So we loaded up on beef jerky, Coke, Gatorade, water, crackers, and trail mix. And we're catching a little rest right now. We're about 20. This is about the halfway point of the ride today, which we're going to end at Round Mountain Campground at about mile 45. So we're at about mile 20. I think we have about 22 miles to go. The first part was that horrible climb, but then we descended all the way down that mountain, that same mountain, probably another 7 miles of descent into the country store. So all in all, the first 20 wasn't too bad. The first part was really bad. But overall, it wasn't too bad. And very nice people at the country store. Tried Darlene's banana bread. It's the mother of the owner of the shop, and the banana bread is incredible. They also have ice cream treats and all kinds of stuff. Also important to note, probably the best time to bike here is during the week. We've seen maybe 2 or 3 cars the entire time out of 20 miles, but we're told that, like on the weekend, it's much busier here, so you probably get a lot more traffic on the roads. So if you can do it Tuesday morning, it's perfect time to ride. So we're gonna mount up here in just a second. You can see the sign for 40 up there. That gets you back to the interstate. So we're only a couple miles from the interstate. We're about 25 miles from Hartford, Tennessee. And so we're gonna turn right up here. We're gonna go towards the interstate. And then I think we're gonna be just riding due east for a while before we start making the turn to south and end up at Round Mountain.
The Big Creek Country Store is actually pretty close to 40, which is the main route that's cutting across that area.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
also-
intersection there, and then we were climbing
Yeah.
in right out of the gate. It's like,
It's kind of the last place for a long time to be near any kind of civilization. Like, if you have an issue and you need to hit the eject button, now is the time.
I think there was like one house in that
Yeah.
holler there besides
The
the shop.
Appalachian
That
Trail
was
was
it.
right there. The Appalachian Trail cut through there.
Oh, maybe
um,
that's why that's there, to catch the hikers,
Yeah.
then, I guess.
The Appalachian Trail was there. And so, the only thing I remember thinking was, one, there's really no one here. And I think I said it out loud to you, like, where is everyone? Well, I thought this was like, the Smoky Mountains. No one's around. And we started seeing our first kind of creepy buildings at that point. There were some creepy outhouses and stuff like that around there. And it only got creepier. So we take off from there with our 40-pound packs. And I do remember taking a picture with you at the juncture of the Appalachian Trail. And I already kind of am very sweaty in the face, like I'm wet from the humidity. And, I'm ready to get the other 20 miles done.
I remember a flock of like butterflies in the road there. I stopped, took some pictures, like monarch butterflies.
I don't remember that, but maybe that was an omen. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So we take off from there. And as I remember, there's a big climb out of there because, again, we've gone up, we've gone very steep down, and now
I remember we started going like this right out of the gate.
Started right after lunch with kind of full bellies. We start climbing up, and we had some good food and drink on us at that point to take with us. And so we start climbing out of the valley, and it was a hard, long climb. No, I remember it being paved road as opposed to gravel.
That was a pretty road. That was is that the one that where you stopped at the top to take a break? Is that the road?
I don't know, maybe. I remember there was a lot of foliage covered forests.
Yeah,
we were
it was
deep
pretty.
in the woods, and it was cool. That's the first time we came across a house that said, "Keep out, get off the property, or I'll shoot you," kind of a thing. And that's when we knew we were in some deep shit.
And again, no people, no cars, nothing.
No one around. Maybe 2 cars passed us.
Maybe.
The whole time.
Yeah.
And so we climb up this long, steep climb, and I remember cresting and then cutting across the ridge for a long time. Like, it was kind of flat, and we were cutting across the ridge for, I don't know, another 10 miles or so.
But wasn't that the road we got to top before we hung it right on the dirt road where you stopped to take a break, and you're taking a break, and the Razorback is like heading up the hill out of the holler?
The Razorback is in part 2.
Oh, that's in part 2. Okay.
Yeah, the Razorback is in part 2. So, here's some video that I have of us kind of riding up this hill and along the ridge. It was kind of peaceful, not too much bickering. We still feel relatively fresh, and the ride is going relatively well, even though we've encountered some hard spots. So here's the video.
Yeah. Shit. I think you have bigger rotors than I do.
Okay. So that was us kind of riding in this deep foliage, and we're starting into part 2 now, actually. So I think this is kind of the end of part 1, where we're finishing up kind of the paved route, the road portion of it. It's been fairly calm. We've gotten our snacks. We had a nice big downhill, feeling relatively fresh.
And what time is it? It's like
it's starting to wear on us.
Mid-afternoon, 3?
When we finished here, the kind of the part one segment, I want to say, yeah, we're probably around 1 or 2 o'clock. We've ridden for a couple of hours.
Right.
And we probably only have another 10, 12 miles to go at this point. When we start into the rough.
Oh, okay.
The rough is going to be part 2 in the series. So you will definitely want to check back with us in a few episodes.
That's after the Razorback, right? Is that the rough
part? Yeah, we'll talk about the Razorback. We'll talk about the UPS truck.
Right.
Trust me, you're going to want to tune into this and come back. So while we're talking about that, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel. It's helping us out a lot, helping us grow our channel. We appreciate it. Make sure you come back for part 2. You're not going to want to miss the climax of this story. So just remember, as we're leaving part 1, we're in relatively good shape with about 12 miles left to go of the 42, not horrible, in the Smoky Mountains. And we're about to have a nice, relaxing night in the Smoky Mountains, or so we think.
So we thought.
Yeah, so we thought. So do you remember before it started getting rough, kind of what your feelings and thoughts were? Or were you just kind of going along for the ride, taking video of me riding?
I was just having fun watching you and listening to you. Since it was your first trip, I was like laughing most of the way behind you, saying this is gonna be fun. I wonder where this is all gonna go. So I was having fun. You were like worried, I think, from minute 1 to wherever we were.
I started getting worried when you stopped for your heart rate on the hill. That's when I was like, I'm like, maybe we should have a physician with us. See, here's the other problem is that people don't realize. But because you're so deep into the woods, there is no cell phone reception.
There is no rescue.
And there are no people around. So if you get into trouble out there, you are screwed. Like, if you have a medical condition, you are done. That's it.
A black bear visit or whatever.
Or a black bear or a snake or whatever it is.
Or escape con.
Right. I mean, you are screwed. And in retrospect, we were kind of dumb. We should have brought one of those GPS rescue kind of the walkie-talkie looking things with us that allow you to ping emergencies.
I wasn't worried. I knew we would get through it.
I didn't even know that we were going to be out of touch like that. That's how ignorant I was, the situation.
Cool. So that's a cool wrap for part 1. I can't wait to hear part 2. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for our next episode when we're going to be talking to some of the, what do they call themselves? The dirt bags? The
dirt bags from Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really actually hoping maybe we can convince them to ride the Pants Route a second time with us.
That would be cool if we could.
That would be entertaining.
Definitely. That would help having a guide to take us where we're going.
I really want to talk to them about how they train for the event,
right?
How they fuel during the event, like how many options do they have for provision stops and things like that.
But keep in mind, it's like you. That's the first bike packing trip they ever did, which is insane. That was the first time they ever did a bike packing trip. So it would probably be pretty hilarious what they tell us.
Right.
I can't wait to hear.
Talk to them then about how they felt on the bike if they didn't do a ton of training. You know, what was Did it feel like we felt in the Smoky Mountains where those hills lasted forever and we were stopping for our heart rate, or were they gradual long climbs that they just kind of climbed over 30 miles? You know?
Yeah, I'm really curious on how many hours a day they were riding. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they had pretty long days, honestly, but we'll see.
It should be entertaining either which way. So I'm excited to talk to those guys. And so thank you everyone out there for tuning in once again and checking out the Bourbon Bikes and Business podcast. We appreciate your viewership. And until next time, Blaise, when we talk to the Pants Route guys, the dirt bags, and then after that, we get back to part 2 of the story.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the videos that you have because I haven't seen them. So it'll be interesting. All right. See you later.
All right, everyone. Peace out.
Thanks. Bye.